The vacancy in the centre is filled by Pat O'Neill. Andy Comerford and Dennis Byrne take responsibility in the midfield zone, and the attacking six look a most formidable combination with John Power on the 40, Henry Shefflin on the fringe of the square, ably supported by DJ Carey and Charlie Carter, among others. Replay 13 days ago. Brian Lone was back on something approaching his best, while Anthony Daly took care of Galway's dangerous Alan Kearns. It's a 21st outing for midfielder Ollie Baker, Colin Lynch's 14th. While among the forwards, Jamesy O'Connor has had the extra couple of weeks to add to his recuperation. Conor Clancy is listed on the 40, while the one change enforced on the selectors, David Ford comes in at top of the right in place of the injured Stephen McNamara.
On this day last year, with abandoned their families and friends, and also the hundreds of people who were injured in that atrocity, I wish to take this opportunity to thank our members at home and throughout the world who contributed so generously to our Roma Fund and allowed us, through your generosity, contribute £750,000 to be handed over to the Open Trust Fund on the 25th of May. I ask you to join me in a moment's silent prayer as we remember the event, the 15th of August 1998. Solace the Vlahas, the Anamata, the Marabouille.
There was complete silence there, and a wonderful tribute from about over 50,000 people here at Croke Park in memory of those who lost their lives or were injured in Omagh. Agus Anish, our own Navia. The time has come. A match that's been watched all over this country, of course, and abroad as well. I know that the Brennan and Mulhall family from Kilkenny will be watching in New Haven Gaelic Club. That's outside Boston. Well, a man who was meant to do umpire for the minor match, Vincent Casey from All Saints Club in Ballymena, couldn't quite make it. Wasn't feeling too well yesterday. He's fine today, I believe. And Banner fans living in Mallow, Ian, Clare and Kate Howard, their dad is here and wants me to say hello to them. Switches in the Clare half-back line. Anthony Daly and Liam Doyle have switched across. It's Clare who play from left to right in the first half. And straight into the attack to put a bit of pressure there on Willie O'Connor. And it's going to be interesting to see how the Kilkenny backline will cope here this afternoon with the changes that they've been forced to make. Pat O'Neill, incidentally, is starting at centre half-back. There have been speculation he might switch with Canis Brennan. Well, here is the big man himself, full-back in last year's All-Ireland final. Disappointment that day for Kilkenny. It's his 25th championship match. And a huge one from O'Neill. Dropping it right in there towards John Paul. Runs on! Kenny Shea! A goal in the very first minute. What a start! Ken O'Shea. A dream start for Kilkenny. And that after about 40 seconds play. Well, straight from that huge free from Pat O'Neill, which wasn't dealt with properly by the Clare backs. So now Clare hoping to try and make a quick recovery. Philly Larkin trying to get that ball away. Coming back to help out here is Andy Comerford. Willie Barrett, of course, the referee this afternoon from Tipperary. Never to fall away from the action in the early stages here. Here's O'Neill. A huge kicked clearance, stopped back there by Sean McMahon. Towards Conor Clancy. Once again it's O'Neill. He's made a very good start to the match. That's a poor ball by Comerford. It's come across here towards Colin Lynch. Into the inside forward line, in towards Markham. This is once again Philly Larkin, the hand pass back towards Willie O'Connor. Good vision, good awareness, good control. Canis Brennan towards DJ Carey. DJ being marked by Liam Doyle. A wonderful sense of anticipation once again as that ball goes in towards Henry Shefflin, only 20 years of age. Good ball back to Brian McAvoy as they try to tag on another score. The umpires have a right good look at it. It comes down off the post. A let off for Clare. Davy Fitzgerald's clearance up towards Dennis Byrne, yet to really shine in the midfield in any of the championship matches so far for Kilkenny. Here's Sean McMahon, tripped as he was coming away there by John Power. That'll be a free to Clare. Well, this was an amazing start after about 40 seconds play. That ball gone in there and into the back of the net by Ken O'Shea. Sean McMahon has scored 17 points this season. He's got a very fine record indeed as he looks for another, and the first of the day perhaps for Clare, but he's put it wide. It's his 25th championship match this afternoon. Really played well when he ties the entire Clare backline together. Here's James McGarry. John Power going for that one. Sean McMahon still back a little bit. The hand pass was over Brian McAvoy's head. That was enough for Anthony Daly to get in. And Markham unable to reach it. Challenge there by Philly Larkin. Switch in the Kilkenny inside forward line, by the way. Charlie Carter has now moved in towards full forward. And this is the goal from another angle here. And one-handed by Ken O'Shea. Good goal by the man from Dunnamaggin. Again, early pressure exerted by the Kilkenny half-back line in towards their forwards. Once again, it's O'Shea. Taking it by here. Pecos chasing after him. It's still O'Shea. Good place. And the amazing thing about Ken O'Shea is that he scored more goals than points in his championship career. That was his 7th, and he's just got 4 points along with that. But a real genuine goal scorer. PG O'Connell towards Owen Markham, onto his left-hand side. And Clare still looking for their first score. 2 shots on the target, 2 wide so far by the Clare forwards. James McGarry, who played here in 1993 against Clare in a Junior All-Ireland final, which Clare won. That's one-handed forward there. Pat O'Neill once again, missed by Ollie Baker. Sting taken out of it, enough for Andy Comerford to come onto it. And Andy, off his left-hand side, has struck it magnificently between the posts and over the bar. So far it's all Kilkenny. They've had a lot of the ball and all of the scores. Now, just looking at the little flags along the sideline, the breeze is very definitely behind Kilkenny for the opening 35 minutes. Clancy missed it, and down they go. Willie O'Connor is there. David Ford, the last one to pick himself off the ground. Willie Barrett signalling that it's going to be a free in for the Bannermen. And they bring Jamesy O'Connor across to take it. There was always the suspicion that the man from O'Connell here would get the nod if Stephen McNamara wasn't fit to play. In fact, McNamara did very little training in the build-up to this. That's in, that's over the bar. First point for Clare then from their free taker, from Jamesy O'Connor. inevitably you can depend upon him. Going into this match, he had scored a goal and 115 points in a fine career. Today sees him play his 27th championship match. Doyle, beaten to at that time by DJ Carey's flick on. Brian Lowen. Low to the middle. Dennis Byrne snapping at it here. Shoulder coming in from Ollie Baker. That's Jamesy O'Connor, wonderful ground stroke up towards Niall Gilligan. There was speculation Gilligan might go on Pat O'Neill and take him out of position. Instead he's taken Canis Brennan out of position, and he's got the shot, but he hasn't quite found the range. So the Clare forwards a little bit off in their shooting in the opening 7 minutes of this match. Mike McNamara there, the white top. Sean Stack was there as well. DJ Carey races across for it. Picked up here by PJ O'Connell, the highly combative yet wonderfully skillful half forward. And that was taken by Peter Barry there, but the referee has seen a foul. I think it's by Philly Larkin. The jersey was held back, and that's why the referee has signalled his intention to give the free, and it was against Philly Larkin, not against Peter Barry. And Larkin's number has been noted by match referee Barrett. It presents Clare with another scoring chance just inside the 45-metre line. James is striking it much higher this time, but the same wonderful result for Clare. 2 frees taken, 2 scores, and it's 1-1 to 2 points. Match settling down. Jamesy wants a drink. McGarry's puck out as Markham and David Ford switch corners. This is down towards the 40, runs over the head of John Power. Back to help out is Colin Lynch. Jamesy O'Connor was trying to hit it first time. Comes back instead towards Brian McAvoy. Capable of a very big game. Touched in by DJ Carey. Here's Brian Lowen. Referee said no foul. Shevlin chases after him. Here's Willie O'Connor, cool as you like. Return back along the line, but only there towards Ollie Baker. Dropped in towards Alan Markham. Canis Brennan settling down to his new role as full-back in this Kilkenny team. Not a good clearance, however. Pressure will be back on the Cats' defence. It's still, by the way, Conor Clancy against Pat O'Neill. Always the chance that that particular situation might be altered. So Anthony Daly playing on the right this afternoon in a tactical switch. Picked forward by Alan Markham. David Ford slapping on it here, going by Willie O'Connor. Ford's pace stopped by Canis Brennan. Comes back towards Alan Markham again. Brennan just got in the way that time. Willie O'Connor trying to nurse it away from danger. Philly Larkin coming in as well. And it's with O'Connor. He's fouled, and it's a free downfield. Just for a moment there, he looked to be in real danger as David Ford was breezing in with pace, but it struck the body of Canis Brennan. Well, Willie O'Connor here today playing in his 30th championship match. This was it again, the block here. Canis Brennan just doing enough, in fact getting the stick to it. Very good play by Brennan. Free to be taken by James McGarry. Dropped down once again to the corner towards Ken O'Shea. Again, Clare come away with it here. Sean McMahon trying to get the ball out, needing support. Kilkenny players surrounding him. Charlie Carter just swinging on it, but straight into the goalkeeper. Davy Fitzgerald with a big clearance. Philly Larkin approaching it. Bouncing there off Markham, taking possession. Good play by Larkin, he's a very good player. Physically strong, yet wonderfully disciplined in his approach. Colin Lynch, good play, back towards Daly, up towards Gilligan. Good ball from Niall Gilligan, right in front of him here, give him a chance. Needs to lay it off quickly. And he goes for the shot himself and puts it over the bar. His first point of the afternoon. But it was the quality of the ball played into him there, just in front, that gave him the chance to beat the full-back and put just a point between the teams. This was nice play here. Gilligan almost lost it, but got it back onto his right-hand side. So now Clare making a very fine recovery. McMahon batting it back out into the middle. Taken here by Ollie Baker. Up towards Alan Markham, playing well away from the corner forward area. Clare leaving 2 men inside most of the time. Taken nicely here by McGarry. Baker fumbles. That's enough for John Power to come in towards the inside forward line towards Ken O'Shea. Stopped here by Frank Lohan. Great clearance by Lohan. Good ball up towards Gilligan. Very pacey start to this match. That challenge was by Markham. It was unfair into the back of Philly Larkin, and it's going to be a free out for Kilkenny. Well, it's up and down the field so far in the opening 12 minutes. That's Alan Markham there, who of course is a first cousin of Sean McMahon. One way or the other, he'll be facing Cork in a championship match shortly, if not in the All-Ireland Senior Final itself. He's due to face the Leesiders on Tuesday week in Thurles. That's in the Munster Under-21 semi-final. Philly Larkin in receipt of attention. Dr. Bill Cudahy here, his dad before him was a medical officer to Kilkenny hurling teams in the past. Larkin was going to pick this one up, and in came Markham from behind. So Markham on Larkin. Sherlock now and again, as usual, up and down the line, urging his players on. Not the kind to sit back and relax and enjoy his afternoon. The relaxation probably comes from taking Clare to further glories. That's his target. McGarry's huge free, wind assisted, dropped in. Brian Lohan trying to get that ball away. Now he's got a chance to get it away from Henry Shefflin. Great clearance. A real rallying force for the Clare man. Great ball again, good positional sense by Gilligan. He's going by. Still now Gilligan. Good stop by James McGarry. Flicked away by Willie O'Connor. Really exciting passage of play. But Clare had the chance of a goal, and certainly a point. Here's David Ford. Second time of asking it. Kicks it over the bar. David Ford's first point. And the sides are level here. Well, after that wonderful start by Kilkenny, this was now Clare exerting the pressure. Gilligan with a wonderful shot, McGarry equal to it, and watch the flick away then by O'Connor. Henry Shefflin trying to take it down. Managed to roll it up, but it didn't quite come into his hands. That's away by Brian Quinn, tidy corner back. This is Pat O'Neill back for his first championship outing of the season in the Guinness All-Ireland semi-final. Frank Lohan picking up that broken ball, thundering away with it. He's fouled as he was taking the ball away. It'll be a free out to Clare. Charlie Carter, the man nearest to him there. As we go across to the sideline, our reporter there is Marty Morrissey.
Indeed, Ger, a lot of concern in the Kilkenny camp. Particularly, Brian Cody wants to have a word with DJ Carey as I speak, and he's going to tell DJ to operate as a roving midfielder. He's also concerned about the fact that Niall Gilligan is beating Canis Brennan so easily. So serious concerns at the moment as Clare settle into their stride.
Well, there could be switches there yet. Pat O'Neill is a possibility to go in at full back if Canis is in some trouble. But they leave things as it were. Now, here's Jamesy O'Connor. Lovely turn by Jamesy. Does it get inside? It does. It's his third point of the match. The first two were from frees. This one now from play. And the Clare fans have watched their team make a 100% recovery. They've done more than that. They've got into the lead. So Jamesy, as ever, the man you can depend upon in a mini crisis. But it's early stages yet. Baker coming back. Well, that goal, paradoxically, has stung Clare into action. And now, it's Conor Clancy trying to set up a chance. Baker still forward, fed back here once again towards Alan Markham. Almost like target practice for Markham. And I think Brian Cody will be anxious to see that the players marking players such as David Ford and Alan Markham are a lot tighter. Because Philly Larkin allowed Markham get enough ahead of him there, and the chance converted. Jamesy O'Connor Peter Barry going up, taken down here by Brian McAvoy. Markham runs after him. Daly holds up his progress. This is Markham, hand pass into space. There's always a man coming to support. Good assist play by Colin Lynch this time, and that has gone right. 4 wides now for Clare. And DJ has now moved into top of the left. Liam Doyle is still policing him as we go back to the sideline once again.
Indeed, just to emphasise the slight change of tactical plan again, I think the idea now by Kilkenny is to leave DJ in there as much as possible on his own and to put Charlie in full and to get Charlie to ramble around midfield.
Okay, interesting changes of tactics by Brian Cody. All of them trying to encourage the players to give that little bit of extra effort on what is a very hot afternoon. I've noticed lots of the players taking the opportunity of breaks such as this one here for the injury to Jamesy O'Connor to take on board water, and plenty of it. Jamesy's back at his feet once again, moving to right half forward, and it'll be a puck out for Kilkenny. James McGarry, who by the way is a cousin of DJ Carey and also a cousin of Martin Carey, who is the sub-goalkeeper. Tradition, I suppose, continuing in Kilkenny, because of course Ollie Welch was a cousin of Noel Skehan. As we see that ball dropped in there beautifully, and it's put over the bar by Brian McAvoy. McAvoy from James Stephens, his first point of the day, and now it's 6 points to 1-2. Willie Barrett has a word here with Ken O'Shea and also with Frank Lowen. Seemed to reach for the notebook as he was running away that time, so he may have taken their numbers. Still, that's an interesting duel there. Fitzgerald's puck out over here, running in there towards David Ford. Willie O'Connor across it, right corner back, and that is going to be a free. PG O'Connell, the player who was fouled, Andy Comerford with a word or two for the referee. He was the player who was involved in that altercation with Daithí Regan in the Leinster final, which resulted in Regan going to the line. David Ford's waiting inside as Jamesy O'Connor lining up this latest free. Tight enough angle, and he just puts it right at the target. Well, what a lift he gave this Clare team in the drawn match against Galway. They were behind by 9 points. He came in, wasn't fully fit, but lifted the team. Anthony Daly, sun in his eyes, going backwards, runs in towards DJ Carey. Doyle is his marker. Here's Carey, we know of his pace. What great vision outside to pick out John Power. Still got enough, but that time Frank Lowen getting across. Good intervention by Frank Lowen. And he whips it back into the inside forward line, broken down there by Pat O'Neill. Alan Markham trying to get something on it across here towards David Ford. P.G. O'Connell was moving to his left outside. Hit into space, a lot of work here for Gilligan to do against Canis Brennan. Brennan, the army officer. Gilligan firing it across. David Ford trying to break it. Instead it's Willie O'Connor, and a great-hearted player he is. The clearance just about out as far as his team captain, who is Dennis Byrne. Stopped here by Anthony Daly. Towards Markham. Running back is Dennis Byrne. Clancy's there as well, trying to deny him space. And in the end, the Kilkenny man is fouled. And it'll be a free to the Cats. Well, something of a new position at the senior level for Dennis Byrne, forming an alliance there with Andy Comerford. In the past we've had players like Peter Barry and Philly Larkin in there in midfield, but the Kilkenny team has been redrafted somewhat this year. O'Neill's free. This is Charlie Carter taking Brian Lowen out a little bit, and in the end there's a foul. Fouled by one of the Kilkenny players, John Power, looking a bit disconsolate. Decision went against him. Free to Clare, and Davy Fitzgerald comes out to take it. Davy, the man who got the all-important penalty goal in that drawn match against Tipperary down in Thurles, kept Clare in the championship, and of course he's a puck fodder specialist. That's broken down there. Philly Larkin getting the ball away. Peter Barry trying to get the ball out. Pressure coming in from the Clare forwards. They try to get it out as far as Jamesy. Reaches it. And the shot from Jamesy has gone left. Ollie Baker was protesting. In fact, they were all protesting that it might have been a Kilkenny player who got the final touch at it, possibly Peter Barry, but no 65 accruing. Quinn has moved out towards left half back at this stage in the altered Clare defence. That's because Liam Doyle has been given a man-to-man duty on DJ Carey. Pat O'Neill, 3 against 2, 2 Kilkenny men in the forward line waiting for this one, but it comes once again to Brian Quinn, a very, very economical style of hurler. I think a little underrated as well. B.G. O'Connell, raiding, trying to go by Andy Comerford. Quick look at the target, fancies his chances here, and why not? A first for O'Connell from the O'Callaghan's Mills club. And it's 7 points to 1-2. Clare leading by 2 points. Well, Charlie Carter has gone into full forward, and DJ's top of the left as we watch this in reprise. The attendance this afternoon, once again a very, very good one in the semi-final. It's 54,151. Here's Philly Larkin. Down towards DJ Carey, stumbled a little bit, taking off after that one. And I think the referee has decided that Liam Doyle pushed him from behind. And he's given a free in to Kilkenny. Doesn't meet with the approval of the Clare fans who've travelled up here. It's got all the atmosphere of an All-Ireland hurling final itself, but that is the object of the exercise, to get in there against Cork in about 4 weeks' time. Henry Shefflin to hit this one. Rated the best newcomer to championship hurling this year. And he strikes it well away. His touch not in just yet. After a glorious start by Kilkenny with that goal so early, they haven't really managed to tag on an awful lot since then. Just 2 points. And I noticed that Jamesy O'Connor has been switched into top of the right. Alan Markham's gone out to right half forward, where Michael Campbell has followed him. And coming away there was Peter Barry. Held back, however, as he was trying to gain some freedom. And back once again to the sideline we go to Marty Morrissey.
Yet another change in the Kilkenny attack as Brian Cody tries another alteration. This time he's DJ Carey at full forward. Liam Doyle and Brian Lohan didn't really know whether to switch or not, but I'm sure you have to keep an eye on it to see what happens.
Here's Charlie Carter swinging it in, but it's almost as though Kilkenny are doing a Clare in it with all these switches. In fact, by and large, Clare have stuck to the central core of their attacking formation with Clancy on the 40 and Gilligan at full forward. I think all the switches by Kilkenny, indication that Ger Loughnane and his team have done well in defence after a very shaky start. That's a wonderful catch there by Peter Barry. Down towards DJ Carey, popping up atop of the right just now. Doyle is still his marker. Still DJ. Great run. And in the end, he was smothered. And in the end also, the umpire was close enough to it to see that it was DJ's momentum that carried it out over the end line and wide. It's a puck out to Clare and to Brian Lohan's team. But it was a terrific run. And an interesting decision to put Liam Doyle on DJ Carey, because Doyle had a very, very rough time in the match against Alan Kearns of Galway, and now he's been given one of the best hurlers in the business to try and tie up. That's Philly Larkin, hooked there by Jamesy O'Connor, and in the end, the Kilkenny man carries it out over the sideline. Line ball. Great work that time by Jamesy O'Connor to show what a good defensive player he could be as well, to stymie Philly Larkin. Colin Lynch from Lissy Casey. Not such a good connection. B.G. O'Connell was out of the blocks quickly, however. Pat O'Neill trying to get the ball away. So too is Peter Barry. Andy Comerford tries to carry it forward. Stalemate at this particular stage. And the referee waited, didn't blow for a clash ball. In the end, comes out to Brian McAvoy. Doyle getting across there, DJ Carey, but the assistance was coming in from Brian Lowen. He reads the game so well. He's got better and better as the season has progressed. Baker was following the flight path, just kept it in play. But Michael Kavanagh gets it back for Kilkenny, only as far as Anthony Daly. Daly knocking it in towards Ford, batted out by Willie O'Connor. He's playing well. Pat O'Neill, Andy Comerford, the shoulder from Ford coming in but not effective. Instead it's away by Comerford down as far as Shefflin. Shefflin now out around wing forward. Sean McMahon stepping into it, denying John Parr so far in this game. We haven't seen Parr, we haven't seen Shefflin as a major force for Kilkenny up front, but it's early stages of the match. Here is Parr. And it's hit away into space, and there's absolutely nobody there whatsoever. Because right now Kilkenny don't essentially have a man on top of the left. Sometimes the switches, I think, can bamboozle players. They've all got to be on the same wavelength, but this was a great catch here by Peter Barry. There's an injury to the team captain, Dennis Byrne. Well, as captain so far, he's had the pleasure last month of lifting the Bob O'Keefe Cup. Now his sights very definitely on an even bigger prize for Brian Cody. The team coach has come in, done a marvellous job. Can't have been easy to take over when a side has just lost an All-Ireland final. And while we watch the coaches and the injured players, let's go back to the sideline.
Turlough Nan has been trying to encourage some of his players while the Kilkenny player was being attended to there to send in the ball as quickly as possible to Niall Gilligan and Alan Markham. He feels that that is the winning line for Clare.
David Fitzgerald waiting, now being given the signal to pop the ball out. Going towards left half forward, P.J. O'Connell, stopped over there superbly by Peter Barry. And Barry has this great facility of keeping his eye on the ball, shows good confidence and composure, makes good catches. So it's going to be the wing-back himself who will take it. Kavanagh has switched with Barry, you'll gather. Barry now at right half. On a great line ball. Colin Lynch sprinting forward. Open enough as he puts that ball in. It's stopped and it's eventually got away with Gilligan breathing down the neck of James McGarry. To the centre. Markham swinging at it again. Chance to take it forward. Brian McAvoy's after him. Michael Kavanagh's after him. Assistance here coming up in the figure of the team captain, Anthony Daly, but that has gone to the left. And that is now 7 wides for Clare. But James McGarry here just a moment ago was put into serious trouble. Colin Lynch, it was not the easiest shot in the world because he was slightly at an angle to it. Didn't make the range and put it over the bar, but McGarry did well. Charlie Carter, fresh air swing at that. Brian Lowen, John Parr chasing after him. There's always a Clare man in support. This time it's Daly, not a good ball out. Lynch was waiting for it. So too is Brian McAvoy for Kilkenny. Towards DJ Carey. Charlie Carter tries to break it down for DJ. Baker's after DJ. And the shot has gone over the bar, and it's one that Kilkenny has needed. DJ Carey's first point of this Guinness All-Ireland semi-final, and it's 7 points to 1-3, just a point between the teams. This was fine work here by DJ. Ollie Baker was chasing after him, but all in vain. David Ford, it's broken down by Willie O'Connor, but coming forward again is Markham. Alan Markham kicking straight into the middle of James McGarry. Appeals all around. I think the linesman's going to throw the ball in. Wouldn't be quite sure who got the final shot at that. Brian McAvoy. Blocked by Ollie Baker. Away by Dennis Byrne. And this time the Linesman on this near side. As we watch this once again in reprise, it's Alan Markham who came forward up to kick it, but straight into the chest of McGarry. Well, now the linesman has made his mind up, and it's going to be a Kilkenny ball. Dennis Byrne stopped by Daly. Power trying to pick it up. Tough and highly competitive. Different kind of match from last week, however. Here's Byrne, and Byrne fouled by Conor Clancy, and that'll be a free for the Cats. Now, Clancy's job, as much as anything, is to try and deny Pat O'Neill the chance to make those booming clearances, aside from trying to break the ball up and get it into the spaces for the inside men. Mention of O'Neill, here's the free. Gilligan and Clancy, by the way, have just switched in the last few seconds. A big one from Pat O'Neill, marking his return to Championship hurling. Man of the match in one of his All-Ireland finals, might have been man of the match in the other. And they're level for the second time at 7 points to 1-4. About 3 minutes to go to the break. Beautifully balanced towards PJ O'Connell. Lots of wonderful individual effort on view. Willie O'Connor as ever. Down into the space. DJ's in on the blind side of Lowen. They converge on him. Referee says play on. They get it out as far as Doyle, but that was oh so dangerous. Here's James O'Connor. Certainly the Kilkenny fans felt there might have been a penalty there for the foul on DJ. That's as they saw it. This is in towards Clancy, in over Canis Brennan's head. James McGarry's clearance, dropping it back into the half-forward line. And he's fouled. John Power has fouled Sean McMahon. But still the crowd, I think, feeling that there will be much to talk about with that particular pass, beautifully played into space for DJ to run onto. And then it appeared that the Clare full back line came out as a welcoming committee and converged on him. That's McMahon. Beautifully dropped in, and again McGarry, so sharp. Very composed. Nice clearance towards Henry Shefflin at right half forward. Dragged down. John Power. Two players go for the one ball, and it's Brian Lowen who comes away with it. This time it's DJ who's doing the chasing after Brian Lowen. Gets it as far as James O'Connor. Beautiful roll inside towards Clancy. Conor Clancy against Canis Brennan. Trying to turn, taking steps. Lots of steps. In the end, it's a free in. Canis Brennan feels that there were far too many steps taken, and I have to agree with him. Willie Barrett has noted another number. It's that of Canis Brennan for over-vigorous protesting, shall we say. It's a free into Clare. James O'Connor taking it and driving it over the bar. His 4th point of the match. But the Kilkenny fans will not be happy. An incident at one end which they might have got a free on, and certainly a lot of steps taken by Conor Clancy to set up the point for Jamesy. He's now got 4. Inside the final half minute then of this first half. It's eventful. Frank Lowen in trouble. And that's away in the end by Anthony Daly. Plays the game brilliantly. Philly Larkin, his dad and granddad before him have got All-Ireland medals. That's his target as well. James O'Connor protesting. Free to Kilkenny. Well, it's interesting that as Philly was selected at cornerback, his dad, Fan, was there. His grandfather played at cornerback as well. And to date, Clare set up an awful lot more chances than Kilkenny as we watch this one draw in there and taken by the goalkeeper, Davy Fitzgerald. Out towards Anthony Daly. John Power knocked back and put over the bar. That's the score that Kilkenny requires. It comes from John Power. And Kilkenny fans will be happy that their side have drawn level once again. 8 points to 1-5. Davy Fitzgerald's puck out. Again, little space. Players coming in support into the middle, so it's quite bottled up in there at times. Markham takes it beautifully. Back to Anthony Daly. Towards Conor Clancy. Oh, beautifully out by Canis Brennan, but who'll pick it up? It's PJ O'Connor of Clare, and Clare look for the lead once again, but he's put the ball wide. 8 wides for Clare, and so far Clare have created 21 scoring chances against 11 for Kilkenny. The amateur whistlers encouraging the referee to blow for half-time. So into time added on. And Pat O'Connor, the linesman on the far side, signalling that it's going to be Kilkenny's sideline ball. Ken O'Shea, who gave the game a right breezy start with a goal in the very first minute. Plenty of advice and encouragement there for Andy Comerford. Andy playing in his 13th championship match. Ooh, Jean Parr's gone down. Lowen went down as well, and the time has run down. The end of the opening 37 minutes, as it were. But concern about John Parr. He collided there with Brian Lowen just as the referee was reaching for his whistle to call half-time. Attention will be required. Let's hope it's not serious and that he'll be able to continue. There's Ken O'Shea, who got a goal after about 40 seconds, and it was a wonderful start for Kilkenny, but bit by bit Clare got back into the match. Freeze by Jamesy O'Connor and so on, and at half-time it's level here in the second semi-final. And from the start of the second half, Willie Barrett waiting for all players to reassemble. And I noticed that Conor Clancy has gone back onto the 40 now. Gilligan into full forward once again as they started this match. So straight away it's Brian McAvoy showing a lot of pace, plenty of power as well, plenty of direction, looking for the opening score of this second half. That's a great shot. Well, Kilkenny got the opening score, a goal after seconds, and the same in the second half, another score, a point this time to put them back in front. So now Davy Fitzgerald ready to take this puck out for Clare. Plenty of sunshine, the wind now for the second half, and that is supporting Clare. Difficult to say just how strong it is down there. The flags moving fairly swiftly. Partial block on that. A sideline ball which will be to Clare and to Anthony Daly. Sean Stark and Colin Flynn, the physio, waiting in the background. Towards Clancy. Two physically imposing men here, Clancy and O'Neill. Spooned outside towards Jamesy O'Connor. Switched across to left half forward, and that has gone wide. Well, we saw they had 8 wides in the first half, so that's the start of the second half for Ger Loughnane's team. He won't be too pleased with some of the shooting. Ball dropped into James McGarry on a few occasions as well. Anybody's match. Again, it's towards McAvoy. The noise level increases once again at Croke Park. Dennis Byrne taking this one up towards Henry Shefflin, beginning the second half at full forward. Here's Charlie Carter. Charlie yet to score in this match, likewise Shefflin, and a plea by Brian Lowen. But the decision made by the referee, and a free to Kilkenny. So Henry Shefflin has come out to strike this one. Good position for him to get his first point. Tag on a second for the second half for the Cats. And he's put it wide. Hasn't played up to his usual very high form in this match so far, but he's a very young player. 4 players converging on that ball, and it breaks to Dennis Byrne. Alan Markham's chasing after him. And that once again is a sideline ball. Daly today playing in his 32nd championship match, striking this one through midfield towards Conor Clancy. That's knocked away there by Pat O'Neill. Liam Doyle blocked down by DJ Carey. Ollie Baker. Ken O'Shea, the goal scorer, chases after him. Ollie trying to release it quickly, does so. David Ford against Willie O'Connor. Willie O'Connor has lost the stick, but he's been very impressive in this match so far, bottling up David Ford in the corner, waiting for reinforcements to come. And after all of that, Kilkenny get themselves a free, and much of that great play down to the talent of Willie O'Connor. It's a free out to Kilkenny, and James McGarry, the goalkeeper, comes to take it. Lowen bats it down, and it's going to be a sideline ball for Kilkenny. I've just noticed that Stephen McNamara is about to come into the action. Hasn't very much training done in the last fortnight or thereabouts, but it's a switch by Clare. McNamara coming in, and let's just see what that's going to mean. Andy Comerford, not such a good sideline ball. Right now, Clare seem to have 16 players on the field. Nobody's gone off just yet. They're under pressure back there. Nicely taken out here as far as Liam Doyle. He's done a good job against DJ Carey. Great catch by Conor Clancy. And I didn't see anybody going off the Clare team. Clancy is beaten for it this time. Comes back towards Ollie Baker. And now the change will be made, but during that last minute or so of play, Clare had 16 players on the field, and David Ford has just been withdrawn. Clare switching around their forwards so often in major matches, and he's the latest one to be replaced. It's a free into Kilkenny. Ollie Baker had his number recorded by Willie Barrett, the referee. Kilkenny with a narrow lead, trying to stretch that now, and they do so successfully through the shooting skills of Henry Shefflin. At last a free going over the bar for him. That was his first converted out of 3 frees to date, and he's made it 1-7 to 8 points. The Cats have a 2-point lead. It's a huge puck out. David Fitzgerald sent into the eyes of the Kilkenny backs. Peter Barry trying to get to his legs and get to his knees once again. Trying to get away there from Niall Gilligan, and this time he takes. This time he's fouled, and it's going to be a free for steps. Too many steps taken by the wing back Peter Barry from James Stephens. A free to Clare and a chance to eat into the 2-point lead. Once again, it'll be Jamesy O'Connor who'll come up and take it. 3 points so far out of 4 frees, and another from play. Clancy waits. Good strike once more from Jamesy O'Connor. So now there's just a point between these teams. In points, it's 10 points to 9. The scoreboard reading 1-7 to 9 points. St. Joseph's, Bertura Bearfield, of course, supplying 3 players here. McMahon, Baker, and, of course, Jamesy O'Connor. Low and fast out that time, but it drops into the arms of John Parr. He's got assistance, doesn't need it. He might now, however, after that wonderful block. Brian McAvoy coming onto it, got the first point of the second half, and now he's got another beauty. We know in the past what this player is capable of. Gave Brian Wheelham a really torrid time in the first half of last year's All-Ireland final. His second point, and he makes it 1-8 to 9 points. Really strong contest. Pat O'Neill drops it down, waiting for Peter Barry to pick up the pieces. Andy Comerford in midfield, good strike along the ground. Seized on here by Liam Doyle. Markham against Philly Larkin. Colin Lynch trying to get in there as well. Larkin's in the thick of the action. It comes out here in the end towards Niall Gilligan, the leggy figure. Blocked down partly there by Pat O'Neill, goes sliding back into it to try and deny Conor Clancy. Canis Brennan trying to hold him up out there. And support comes to Pat O'Neill. Good hand pass. First touch not good by Larkin. And in the end, he concedes possession to Clare through a sideline ball. Croke Park is a very, very noisy place to be once again this afternoon. And those who support this new system whereby the All-Ireland Series is virtually a new competition, they'll be pleased with the quality of the semi-finals. That's a big one in there. Philly Larkin going back, and he's the last one to touch it. That'll be a 65, and that is the first of the match. And while we wait for that sideline, rather for that 65 to be taken, let's go to the sideline to Marty.
Just one change in the Kilkenny lineup. Niall Maloney's coming in, and goal scorer Ken O'Shea's taken off. The Kilkenny selectors feel that they need a little bit more strength and experience up front.
Well, that's what he will give them as he goes in towards top of the right. Sean McMahon hitting this one. They look at it, they watch, but they watch it going outside and wide. Rarely does he miss. His long-term free is really a feature. As Ken O'Shea makes his way off, he had the ideal start to the game. But now, sport can be cruel, and he has to make way when a new man comes in. Again, they target the puck out towards Brian McAvoy, perhaps feeling that he's really hot at this particular stage in the match. Dennis Byrne here, dropping it in towards Henry Shefflin. DJ's arriving as well. Shefflin has it. This way and that, and finally over the bar. A second point for Henry. Well, he caught that one delightfully. DJ was lurking as well, just in case. And a good second half by Kilkenny, because now there's a goal between the teams. They were level at half-time. Clare with just a solitary point to show for the opening 11 minutes of this second half. Well, I think we got the old-style funny movies, the funny walks there just moments ago. Meanwhile, back to the ranch, it's going to be a throw ball. Here's PG O'Connell. Dropped it behind, however, to Andy Comerford. Niall Maloney trying to get in after this one. Frank Lowen, however, very secure. Almost stepped out of the sideline. Ball, however, was with him, and it's going to be a line ball for Kilkenny. But already we can see that John Power and players like Niall Maloney have the strength and the physique to really take it at with Clare backline. A most renowned group of 6 players who since 1995 have defied just about everybody. There's Dennis Byrne. Now McAvoy, can't turn. Charlie Carter stepping in. Brian Quinn. In the end, they get it out here towards Ollie Baker. A real struggle to get into this year's All-Ireland final by 2 classy teams. Nicely down towards Conor Clancy, in it full forward once again, in a switch with Gilligan. And this is left behind to Canis Brennan. Stopped in midfield, however, by Colin Lynch. Didn't get a great strike in it. Towards James O'Connor. Pat O'Neill trying to get the ball away, supported. Once again, it's Andy Comerford. Charlie Carter out around the centre of the field there with Brian Quinn. And Carter winning this duel. Up to Niall Maloney. Players calling for it. Maloney going away on a solo run. And he struck it in towards the new canal end. His first shot at the target, but he's put it wide. And now there are 6 wides by Kilkenny. 2 of them in the second half. And an injury here to Conor Clancy, which requires the immediate attendance of the physio. And Barry Murphy is just about to come into the match. Here he is, number 18. So it'll be another substitution. And Clancy, the player, injured, making his way off. So Barry Murphy, number 18, is in. And just looking around at the rearrangement, Barry Murphy's gone straight into full forward. Gilligan broke that down. This is beautifully forward here. McAvoy losing his way somewhat. Still getting enough on it to get it as far as John Power. He's got DJ alongside him, doesn't need him. Still Power, balancing, juggling, striking and putting it over the bar. 2 points for Power. 2 shots as well. Delighted Kilkenny supporters now have seen this match turn around. They started well, then they faded, now they've come back and it's 110 to 9 points. 5 points on the trot by Kilkenny. All of that in the first 14 minutes of the second half. That's a great catch there by young Michael Kavanagh. Kept in play and DJ couldn't quite strike it, and it's going to be a Clare ball. Clare trail. They've come back from wider margins in the past, but this was a great catch here by young Michael Kavanagh. Brennan, the referee, has seen something inside here. Willie O'Connor feeling his hand, and I think it's going to be Stephen McNamara who's called aside for that foul blow on O'Connor, and it may well be the first yellow card of the match. The referee decisive in taking action, and the card yellow. Meanwhile, Willie O'Connor still in need of attention. Well, he's been playing like a youngster, Willie O'Connor, in this match. I've seen so much of his skill, little flicks away, blocks down, and even when he lost his hurley, he still managed to do enough to tie up the Clare forwards. And you may remember a little while ago, Kilkenny ended up getting a free out. Willie's okay. Brother of Eddie, of course, who played 23 times in the championship for Kilkenny. So that's the first card. James McGarry hitting away the replacement ball. No particular hurry. Kilkenny with a lead of a goal and a point. Nothing in hurling. 20 minutes to play. Brian Lowen, hurley's flying, comes out to Charlie Carter. Shuffling close to him. Clare chase. Charlie strikes, and he's put it wide. Has yet to score in the match. Well, he's convinced, I think, that it was just inside. Hoping to add to a career total of 3 goals and 30 points. That's dropped down there by Andy Comerford. Niall Gilligan, can he now give the leadership? They need something special. That is special. A beauty from Gilligan. His second point. He's out on the 40 there against Pat O'Neill. And it's 110 to 10 points. If he gets enough ball to run at Pat O'Neill, O'Neill may be tiring. But this was tremendous by Gilligan, taking it in his stride. Beautiful hurling. Smashing score. Kilkenny are back. DJ at the other end. Beautiful. Nice score by DJ. That's a couple for DJ as well in this match. He's just had 2 shots on the target as well. 2 points. Clare score at one end. Kilkenny come back 111 to 10 points. Clare now trying to win their own puck out here, and they do so. Barry Murphy pushed by Kenneth Brennan inside here. Colin Lynch will move forward. Here's a chance for McNamara. Interrupted. It's a goal! Stephen McNamara, he's made a habit of getting goals in critical moments, in crisis situations. He's done so again. 17 minutes into the second half. Now look at the scoreline. Just a point in it. McNamara once again, but Lynch was involved. A balancing act by the number 13 to beat McGarry. What a finish we're in for now. Baker. Still Ollie Baker trying to kick that ball away. He's lost his stick. Colin Lynch is in there as well. So too is Dennis Byrne of Kilkenny. It's beautifully forward here for McAvoy. Good second half for him. In towards Henry Shefflin. Spills away from Henry's grasp. Davy Fitzgerald. The call there from Fitzgerald to Lowen to leave it. driven back down defiantly towards Gilligan. Jamesy O'Connor. Kilkenny get it out, and there's a foul there, and it's Peter Barry who was fouled, and it's going to be a free out for Kilkenny. Protest by the number 7 there. Jamesy O'Connor spoken to by the referee, and his number has been noted. Well, this is the goal once again, and the important part played in it by Colin Lynch. Good awareness, but good finish by McNamara. This free will be taken by Pat O'Neill. There's the goal scorer. Providing the fodder inside. Charlie Carter races. Quinn coming in to try and snuff out the danger. Still Charlie Carter, such a crafty player. The angle shot across here towards DJ Carey. Shefflin's after it as well. Kilkenny look for a score of their own. Pressure on the Clare defence. They stand firm. Out to Ollie Baker. Garda based in Ballinasloe, beating John Power to it. It's a sideline ball, and that'll be to Kilkenny. Alan Markham busy working up and down the side of the field over there. He's done his share of defending when needed as well. It's tense. Brian Cody with a word there for Dennis Byrne, the man about to take the sideline ball. I think both managers are probably living on their nerves right now. So are all the fans. Place in the final against Cork at stake. Beautifully in, and DJ Carey's in the clear. Oh, it's a great goal! Only DJ could do that. 20 minutes into the second half. 3 minutes since the McNamara goal. 2:11 to 1:10. DJ with a goal and 2 points. If you give him a break. They were all in after it, and DJ was the one, as others were moving elsewhere, who was in the clear, and Davy Fitz hadn't a smell of this one. Tried his best, but couldn't keep it out. And the player who is injured down there, in need of attention, is Henry Shefflin. And I think he's explaining to referee Willie Barrett there was a Hurley struck down that time which caused the injury. Players like Sean McMahon wondering how much time is left. About 14 minutes is the answer. Just when Clare thought they had turned it around through McNamara's intervention, Brian Cody's DJ was on hand to pounce to strike, to give them a lead once again of 4 points. Great contest. That's one-handed away by Willie O'Connor. Comes out towards Dennis Byrne, playing well in midfield. Driven up towards Henry Shefflin against Brian Lohan. Support coming in here for Lohan from Brian Quinn. Good shoulder by DJ Carey. Away he comes again from Liam Doyle. Look at his pace. Still DJ. Good vision to place it across the goal, but Brian Lohan was anticipating. Well, Liam Doyle was beaten for pace that time, but to his eternal credit, he never once tried to foul DJ Carey. Played it fairly and squarely. Here's Henry Shefflin again, trying to wriggle free of the attentions of Baker, and an annoyed Anthony Daly over there, seeing the referee give the free in for Kilkenny. Shefflin's got more and more encouragement during the second half. He's gained in confidence, and Ollie Baker must now be wondering whether Clare have another recovery in them. A lot of problems for Ger Loughnane. Some of the Clare fans are probably thinking already, if this was only a replay, but it's not. Henry Shefflin to hit this. Straight in front of the post, and you can see from that angle there that it screwed rather badly for him. Breeze was against him. It means there's still very little between the teams. Now Gilligan's gone back in towards full forward, and Pat O'Neill has followed him. This is a great catch here by Peter Barry. He's played outstandingly well. Henry Shefflin, that's a run on behind him. Lohan was coming to meet it. It's with Niall Maloney instead. Good ball inside. DJ Carey trying to put Liam Doyle off his stride here, but Carey with good, honest work getting it up there beautifully for Shefflin. Lovely pick up by Shefflin. Back here towards John Power. That's gone to the left. A couple of wides now, the last couple of attacks by Kilkenny, and that's 9 in all. and for Clare, it's 10 wides to date. Taken down by Comerford, but Markham was anticipating, couldn't quite take it up onto his stick. Lovely hurling by Comerford towards Charlie Carter. Oof, hurleys were flying there, Charlie's and Brian Lohan's. Pressure back in the Kilkenny back line once again. One-handed by Barry Murphy, couldn't quite get enough on it. Stopped by McGarry. The hand pass outside to Willie O'Connor, and the clearance, but the referee, I think, has blown his whistle for a foul, perhaps on the Kilkenny goalkeeper. Everybody asking to find out just how much time is left. Well, it's going to be a free out, and the wise men, 3 of the 4 there, Tony Considine missing from that picture. About 11 minutes to play. McGarry's free. Brian Lohan coming to meet it, he's missed it completely. Sean McMahon going across, nursing it away there for the attentions of John Power. Gets it down towards Gilligan. They wait for the break of the ball. Stephen McNamara is waiting. Coming onto it here beautifully is Jamesy O'Connor. Trying to go inside the cover. He's bottled up, but it's going to be a free into Clare on the 20-metre line. Protest from Michael Kavanagh. Kavanagh, who made his debut against Dublin last year, has conceded a free. And here's a chance for Jamesy O'Connor to put just a goal between the teams. He has put in wide. He's missed a few this afternoon. 4 out of 6 so far converted. 2 have gone astray, and that was the last of them there. This is Brian Lohan trying to get that ball out and get it down into the forward line once again. Well, the scoreline here reads Kilkenny 2-11, Clare 1-10. Still 4 points the margin. Dennis Byrne, the captain from Graig Ballycallan. Beautifully cut up. Brian Quinn racing and can't hold it. John Power gets enough on it, blocked down by Baker. Good play by Ollie Baker. Sean McMahon tries to wriggle free of the attentions of some of the Kilkenny half forwards. Here's Lohan. Next it's Baker. Charlie Carter chasing after them. Gilligan touches it down. Jamesy O'Connor whipping it in for Barry Murphy to have a run at. Getting there ahead of Canis Brennan, trying to go by. Still Barry Murphy, the second half substitute. And it breaks down to Willie O'Connor. Cool as you like, and a fine clearance to midfield. And he picks out Brian McAvoy. That was a great clearance. Good work by the industrious McAvoy. But this time his pass into space is going astray, and it is Brian Lohan who drops it back down again. Gilligan, and that's a great catch by Pat O'Neill. Trying to pick out Charlie Carter. Brian Lohan there again, trying to close down the space, but Charlie was opening up the broad shoulders, and P.G. O'Connell nipped in. Good steal. Here's Philly Larkin. Gilligan alongside him, Larkin on his knees a couple of times. Andy Comerford now. Players trying everything they've possibly got to get their team into the All-Ireland final. In Kilkenny's case, an opportunity to get back for the 2nd year in a row. And of course, in Clare's case, it's another appearance as we watch that once again by Pat O'Neill. Clare finalists 95, 97. Or would it be 99? 4 points the margin. Daly, it's a huge one, it's hanging, it's dropping, and it's gone over the bar. Wonderful leadership by Anthony Daly. And that crucial goal really by DJ after 20 minutes of the second half. That is the difference at this stage as Clare bring in Enda Flannery into their team. He's their 3rd and final sub. And it's a case now of waiting to see just who Ger Loughnane will take off. Nobody has moved just yet. And we're still waiting to see. It's P.J. O'Connell who's gone, and P.J. Delaney about to come in. That familiar figure there of PJ Delaney handing the little slip of paper to referee Barrett. And Charlie Carter is the one who has gone off the Kilkenny team. Late changes. Will they have any influence on determining who plays Cork? Pressure on the Clare backs, that's out by Ollie Baker, but only as far as Peter Barry. He's had a marvellous match. The hand pass to space once again to McAvoy. Great penetration and a great score by Brian McAvoy. 3 points for McAvoy. And the Kilkenny fans very pleased with themselves, because now there's a 4-point gap once again. This is once again Canis Brennan emerging with it. Still pressure. Dennis Byrne getting it away. That's back by Daly once again, and it's gone into Hill 16. I can tell you right now, by our calculations here, the scoreboard in the stadium is incorrect. We have it right on screen, 212 to 111. Brian McAvoy's got 4 points in this match. And that's nicely inside there. But stopped by Davy Fitzgerald. But it must be confusing for the people here if our scoreboard, and we think it is accurate. Colin Lynch, inside towards Niall Gilligan. Philly Larkin trying to get that ball away, and he's gone down. Nearest player to him there was Stephen McNamara, who already has been booked in this match. He's had a yellow card, and it's now a red, and he's gone. Well, what a checkered afternoon he's had. He scored a goal, didn't start the match, and this was the foul on Philly Larkin, unceremoniously going down, not a fair shoulder, and Willie Barrett has sent him off as if things were not bad enough for Clare already. To give you an update on the score situation here in the stadium, it has now been amended, and the correct score, as we told you, is 212 to 111. Well, we've always had that, but they have now changed the score here on the electronic scoreboard away to our left, above the stand. Ger Loughnane wants one last effort. 4 minutes left. 4 points between the teams. It looks good for Kilkenny, but you know Clare, they're never beaten. Baker lets it drop out of his hand. Liam Doyle is trying to get support here from Ollie Baker. He's held up and fouled by Maloney, and a free to Clare. They need scores quickly, otherwise it's a Cork-Kilkenny final this year. Davy Fitzgerald about to take the free, and you can be absolutely certain he will plant this one in and around the rectangle. I'm sure there's a goal on the mind of some of the players like Gilligan in there. That's a big, huge one, and it's stopped by McGarry. He's magnificent. Out towards the sideline, pressure back on the Cats defence once again. Great stop by James McGarry. Just his 3rd championship match at senior level. And again, this is taken away here beautifully. Fumbled somewhat by PJ Delaney. John Parr. Parr by name and by nature. Here he comes, bouncing on the ground, getting it back again. The hand pass towards DJ, difficulty containing it. Is there a late score here for DJ? There is, and he's put it over the bar. A goal and 3 points for DJ Carey, the maestro from Young Ireland. 4 shots at the target, 4 scores for a wonderful player. Back once again with the Clare attack. Niall Gilligan, happy to drop this one over the bar, I think, yes. Gilligan's 3rd. So now 4 points the difference, but only 2 minutes to go. Enormous tension in Croke Park this afternoon. Brian Cody so close now to guiding his side into the All-Ireland final. Sean McMahon coming across there, getting in a tangle with Frank Lohan, and the player who goes down injured is DJ Carey, feeling his leg. And the referee, very close to the action, says he was walloped across the shins. Back on his feet quickly. Free to Kilkenny, a chance to stretch their lead even more on what is looking like a glorious afternoon for the new manager, Brian Cody. Henry Shefflin with 1 free converted from 4 so far. He had another from play. But this now to perhaps take the game away from Clare. A 3rd point in all by Shefflin. The smiles are broad on the Kilkenny fans' faces. Clare in a hurry. Ollie Baker taking it beautifully with the left hand, swinging it in here, but swinging it wide. They came back strongly in the first half, but Kilkenny have been by far the more dominant in the second. So there you see, top left-hand corner. Little over 30 seconds to play, plus injury time. Clare created 33 chances, Kilkenny bucked up in the second half and at 27. Barry Murphy going back, DJ picking it up beautifully. And that one has gone well and truly wide. It uses up a couple of seconds. Davy Fitzgerald in a real hurry. Huge one down. Gilligan trying to get inside Canis Brennan's cover. Brennan sticking to his task. Had a couple of dodgy moments in the first half, but he's improved as the game's gone on. A sideline ball for Clare. Well, they've got to score a goal and 2 points just to level it. Not such a good sideline ball. And back once again, Kilkenny get possession, drive it up towards John Power. PJ Delaney battling with Brian Lohan. Out one-handed by Daly. Colin Lynch. And they're in after it! Markham was the one who was coming bang on cue. Made a connection, but couldn't steer it in. So in injury time, it's Kilkenny who have that vital edge. A 5-point lead. McGarry, one of their heroes, striking this puck out to the right half forward position. Here's Sean McMahon. This is broken down here once again by Peter Barry. He's been tremendous this afternoon. One of his best ever performances in the Kilkenny colours. And Power, as ever, came back, answered the call, made a difference in the Leinster Championship in particular. Did well this afternoon against Sean McMahon. That's Anthony Daly. So now Clare living on borrowed time. Barry Murphy stepping away from the challenge. Brian McAvoy chasing after him, trying to hook him. They get it nicely inside towards Markham. Players there in support. Still they go forward. Enda Flannery is one, and that's gone over the bar. Well, the substitute getting in on the scoring act late, but perhaps too late at this particular stage to make any kind of difference. Flannery's 2nd ever point in championship hurling in what today is his 5th match. McGarry packs out, the referee calls for the ball, the final whistle, and Brian Cody and Clare are triumphant. They go through to this year's All-Ireland hurling final against Cork. DJ Carey with a goal and 4 points. Kilkenny superb in the second half. Clare fought valiantly. They battled over the last number of years. They've given tremendous satisfaction and enjoyment to so many people. But today belongs to Kilkenny and to stars like DJ, role models for young hurlers all around the country. And it's Kilkenny who will be playing in the All-Ireland final for the 49th time, I think it is. And it's Dennis Byrne there, their captain, who'll be hoping for a glory day on the 12th of September. Kilkenny v Cork in the final. Memories of days like the early 80s. Today it's Kilkenny 214, Clare 130.